What do the peers say that had to guard Michael, right? They say he was unguardable, right? The same thing they say with LeBron. They was like, he's so big, he's so strong. What are you going to do with him? So that's a wash. Then you have to look at the era. We talked about that over and over. That's going to be debated from here to the cows come home. Was that era as good with the expansion teams? Personally, unfortunately, I'm biased. I don't think so. When you expand the teams and you spread talent around, it's not the same as playing against a stacked team. Jordan experienced both worlds. When he came in the league, he had to play against a stacked Boston team. Couldn't beat them. Stacked Pistons teams, stacked Bucks teams, wasn't beating those guys. When the team spread out, guys started moving talent around, it was a totally different story. And it seems like when LeBron played, it was just the opposite. Now you had all these teams that he's going up against. These loaded teams like Dallas, these loaded teams like Golden State, these loaded teams like the Spurs. He's on the other side of that coin. Now he's playing against teams that's stacked. But my point is that this era argument is going to be very difficult to have unless you just look at it from a standpoint and say, all right, let's just cut to the chase. Let's look at the competition that these guys went up against. And I know this is kind of like before your generation, but when a lot of people used to ask me, why did I always pick Muhammad Ali over Mike Tyson? Because Mike Tyson, ironically, Mike, came up in the era where the heavyweight division was not that great, right? It was okay, but it wasn't really that great. And he just steamrolled everybody. While he's steamrolling everybody in boxing, Jordan steamrolling everybody in basketball. In the Muhammad Ali era, every champion that Muhammad Ali beat literally could have been a champion in this generation. I'm talking about they could have held it. Foreman could have held the belt for 10 years in this generation. Frazier, 10 years. Norton, 10 years. And so the fact that Muhammad beat better competition is why I always put him over Mike, even though I know Mike was a great fighter. With Jordan, he was a great player. I'm not taking nothing away from him. I just question the people that he had to go up against. No disrespect, Steve Smith. Love you. Love Joe Dumars. I love Reggie Miller. I get it. Y'all are great players, but y'all ain't Kobe. Y'all ain't T-Mac. Y'all ain't Vince Carter's. Y'all are not Dwayne Wade's. Y'all are not Carmelo Anthony's. Y'all are none of those guys that LeBron James had to go against. Y'all are not KD. Y'all are not Curry's. Y'all are not those guys. Reggie Miller is okay. He's a great player, but he ain't Kevin Durant. He ain't
not even close. Not even close.
No.
So you're saying the only reason why you're putting LeBron over Jordan is because LeBron's had competition. He's played some of the greatest players that you've ever seen play the game of basketball.
And to prove it, in about 5 years or so, half those guys I named will all be in the Hall of Fame. I promise you that. And half them guys that Michael played will not make the Hall. If they ain't in there now, they're not going in there. They're not going to say, okay, Steve Smith, come on in. Okay, Sean Kemp, come on.
Steve Smith was cold, though.
What's the guy? Kevin Johnson, Thunder Dan Marley. Y'all ain't in there, bro.
You know what I gathered? This is my last point, and I'm going to wrap it up. But what I gathered from what Mr. Ron just said, he's basically saying that he has more respect for the best player in the best era or the golden era. Muhammad Ali was the best boxer in the best era of boxing, is what he's saying.
Right. That's exactly.
LeBron James is the best player in the best era of basketball. The 2010s was a crazy era. I mean, it was amazing to watch, to be honest. I don't think we'll ever see that again. And I think that's what Mr. Ron said.
The 96 draft class and the 2003 draft class. Look up those draft classes. Those two draft classes were some of the best draft classes in history. Next to Jordan's draft class, of course, with Akeem.
I was just about to say that.
I knew you were coming. That's why I said, let me just say it now. So those three draft classes. But for some reason, though, those draft classes with Jordan's draft classes brought in the centers and power forwards. With LeBron, they brought in the players that, unfortunately, he had to go up against head to head. So that's where it's kind of like, LeBron, get Curry. You got to guard him. You got to guard Kobe. You got to guard T-Mac. You got to guard Ray Allen. You got to guard Dwayne Wade. You know, and then we're not even talking about guys like Steven Jackson and these other kind of off-brand guys who were a nightmare to guard, even though they weren't Hall of Famers, you know. So, but I'm not going to bring them up. But I think that's my only point. Other than that, I can't take nothing away from Michael. He won 6 championships, so I can't, and I won't. But it's the era. It's just the era for me.